Good night.
Honourable member for Calgary-Midnapore.
Well, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on February 19th, in question period, I asked the Minister of Transport this question. Madam Speaker, the minister is correct. He did appear yesterday at committee. Unfortunately, he got his facts wrong again about purchasing tickets to sun destinations. The minister said that it takes multiple tickets for an American carrier to take a Canadian to a sun destination when, in fact, it only takes a single ticket. When will the minister get his facts straight? And when will he fix this problem? Well, Madam Speaker, on this date, I did receive this response from the Minister of Transport. Madam Speaker, I will argue that she needs to get her facts straight. I said multiple trips, and meaning not multiple tickets. I said multiple trips, he said. Let me be very clear to all Canadians. We are asking all Canadians to suspend discretionary and vacation travel. Well, Madam Speaker, I did remember very clearly what the minister had said the day before at committee, and I attempted to make a point of order. Unfortunately, I did not have the text in front of me, but I do have it here today, Madam Speaker, and I will read it into the record as it is in the record from committee on February 18th when the Minister of Transport did appear. My question to the Minister of Transport was, at committee on February 18th, my colleague mentioned previously that when the pandemic is over, or finally we hope, the government is successful in its vaccination efforts, or perhaps in utilizing the tools of vaccines and rapid testing, which we have been encouraging the government to do for so long, even though when the airline sector opens again, there will have been an incredible loss of market share over this period of time. I've mentioned this in the House. We see it, for example, with the implementation of travel restrictions whereby American carriers can still fly Canadians to sun destinations. Will this plan include a strategy for dealing with the loss of market share, which will take years for the Canadian airline sector to recover? Well, Madam Speaker, the Minister for Transport did respond with this. Let me just correct the record. No American airlines can take Canadians to a sun destination. If they do, then those Canadians are buying multiple tickets to get to the sun destination. There are no direct flights between Canada and sun destinations. Having said that, the short answer to her question is yes. We are committed to working with the airline sector and making sure that they are strong and ready for a recovery post-COVID. So, Madam Speaker, I can confirm it is in the record. The Minister of Transport did say multiple tickets. And I will back this up, Madam Speaker, with my efforts on February 19th, following question period. Before I attempted to make this point of order, I went on to Expedia, and in fact, Madam Speaker, I was able to, through an American carrier, have the option of purchasing, with a single ticket, a trip from YVR, which of course we know is Vancouver, to Puerto Vallarta, one of my favorite sun destinations, PVR, with only a single 31-minute stop in Seattle, Madam Speaker. So I would like to set the record straight, Madam Speaker, with this information, with reading this into the record, and of course expressing my sincere disappointment that there remains still no plan for the airline sector after all of this time, and of course my extreme disappointment, Madam Speaker, that the government did not support our Opposition Day motion, which did include support for airline workers and the airline sector. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Transport.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The measures implemented by this government starting on February 22nd are helping to curb discretionary and vacation travel during a period when a very significant number of Canadians traditionally travel to sun destinations, as the honourable member herself mentioned, and for example, weeks like March break. The decision to impose these measures were not taken lightly. We understand the impact on Canadian travellers and the Canadian industry. However, despite promising news regarding vaccines for COVID-19, it's critical to remember that we remain in the midst of a pandemic, that new variants of the virus are circulating, and that our primary responsibility is to protect the health and safety of Canadians. It would have been irresponsible for us to treat this as a normal winter travel season and hope for the best. I can report that between the first week of January of this year and the first week of March, passengers arriving into Canada were down very significantly, with most pronounced decrease in arrivals coming from traditional sun destinations in Mexico and the Caribbean, where the decrease stands at around 90%. I do not suggest this is cause for celebration, nor do I wish to give the impression that air travel is bad or unsafe. On the contrary, through its multi-layered approach, the government and industry have worked hard to put in place a number of measures to ensure that air travel is safe. This includes the wearing of masks, health and temperature checks, additional sanitization measures in airports, and onboard aircraft for all flights, as well as the need to show negative COVID-19 tests within 72 hours on getting on board an international flight to Canada. International air travelers to and from Canada can still take place, and we recognize that not all travel is discretionary. Furthermore, the measures this government has imposed do not stop Canadians from traveling for discretionary purposes. I recognize that although Canadian airlines have voluntarily suspended service to sun destinations, it is still possible to travel between Canada and those destinations on connecting flights via the United States, for example. I will repeat that the number of passengers choosing to travel to sun destinations is very small, and that they will be subject to the testing and quarantine measures that we have imposed on their return. In summary, Madam Speaker, this government is continuing to do what is necessary to protect the health and well-being of Canadians. Thank you.
Honourable member for Calgary-Midnapore.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you to the Parliamentary Secretary for that response. He mentioned the airlines voluntarily giving up these sun destinations. I do wish, Madam Speaker, that the government would voluntarily provide a plan for this sector after 1 year. We hoped for it in December when Reuters reported that it was coming. We hoped for it 2 weeks ago when it was reported in the Globe and Mail that it was imminent. Today, Madam Speaker, the government had an opportunity, in the absence of a plan, to support our Opposition Day motion, to support the airline sector, to support workers, in simply just voting for the Opposition Day motion and showing support to the airline sector and the airline workers. But the government did not choose to do this. There has been no plan for a year, Madam Speaker, but in this small action today, supporting this motion, the government could have supported the airline sector. They did not. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And the honourable member knows that the airline industry has been able to access billions of dollars in relief from the Government of Canada. And we are engaged in negotiations, as the former minister and the current minister have said, to help the airline industry. But it has to be on good terms that Canadians accept, and that will include refunds, maintaining of regional routes, and protection of the Canadian aerospace industry. We look forward to something very soon and hope to have good news for the House in the very near future. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.